Now, if this doesn't work though, what I have to do is download a video there for about 30 minutes. And then somehow added it in there. Anyways, Pokemon Community Day features Solosis. And I've been trying to get a decent enough connection though, but yeah. Okay, you might hear an echo as I turn up the volume on this other screen. Because the connection is in the red, there will be some skipping in the video. Sorry about that. And I don't mean I'm skipping in, skipping around to like different segments. I meant lagging. I wish these videos were like a little bit lower or something. This will probably be a quick, short video there. Might leave it up to say, hey, look what I did before. Because it lags, though, you might not hear the sound of the game. And amongst other things, though. And I don't know. And because of the delay, though, what you're seeing is actually at least 30 seconds, if not longer, though, from what actually happened, though, when I'm speaking. How is the last person in this gym have the lowest health? So basically, the audio is going faster though than what's being displayed. Right now, I just defeated the Galarian Ponyta though. Great work screen comes up though, but what is being shown, I do not know until I actually see it myself. There's an Applin over here. Take care of Keldeo. I closed all the windows there, and I think that was because of the wind blowing. That's why there's a little big delay. I'm gonna have to move my fan because it's just blowing into the mic. And last time I did that, though, it sounded like we're hurricane force winds. Do do do. Connection looks like a broken roller coaster, or at least a roller coaster with more dips than it should be. Now you might notice though that Keldeo's a little bit more skinny on there though, because sometimes my screen gets readjusted though, the casting screen, and I have to go and fix it yet again. Which is also why it's misaligned so badly. Solosis is a psychic, right? I can't bring up my keyboard again. For some reason, though, now it's at random, though, whenever I'm able to bring up my keyboard. Lucky for me, though, I Finally got this to be able to Mega Evolve. Evolve, not involve. I mean, it's definitely going to be involved. When we're doing Pokemon battles, of course, we're going to be involved. Quickly deposit one of the Pokemon in there. You see, well, because thanks. Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to level 45 on here because I think I got one more day left, and there's no way I'm going to get that many Team Rocket leaders and grunts. And I can only blame myself for this though, because I should have been doing that a lot more. Not that particular thing though, but because of the prior requirements to even get to this level, which was the PvP, and I've been, oops, wrong one. I've been slacking on that though, so I didn't get around to it till last month. Not last month, it was in August, where you had to win what was at least 30 in the Great Master and the Ultra Cups there. Unfortunately, due to bad timing, though, certain cups were unavailable because they were also running events, which meant two of the. Is that a shiny? I can't really tell because it's one of those ones that's kind of yes but no. Unfortunately, though, there was like the Great Cup, which was the regular one, though, and then they had the event one that was also up, which meant the Ultra and the Master wasn't available until the end of the week. I'm like, God dang it. Okay, it won't let me. My keyboard is not working. So I'm unable to update the counter because it won't let me. Let's see if I go over here, Counter 1. Can I put an L? Can I hit enter? Okay, it's not the keyboard. The keyboard works. My recording program will not let me update it to Shiny 1. And as you can tell, it's the first Shiny. Happy little blobby cell division. Oh, and look at this. It is a background one, too. Okay, so imagine that I put a 1 found shiny counter. This is one of the ones that you have to pay attention to if it's a shiny or not, though, because the little curl on it, though, is the only indicator, though. Unlike Gengar. Thanks. I gotta throw berries at it, though, which is probably a lot better than throwing rocks at it, though, at the Safari Zone in the original Pokemon game, though. Hey, come here, throw rocks. Did you know you caused a concussion on this particular animal? No. I thought it'd be more. It's not a safari area though, where you can go and take pictures. Though this is practically Pokemon abuse, even though technically though they get more damage though with creatures that spits out fire. So I guess throwing rocks at it though is not as bad. Maybe emotionally. Out of all the times though that this creature has been around in this game, I can't believe that was the first time I ever caught a shiny one. Thought I had one. Concurrently, or at least after this community day is over, though, they have the Punkaboos out and about, which means a perfect time to go and capture the biggest, smallest, mediumest one that you can get. And what was funny, the other day, I caught the smallest, biggest Punkaboo. If that makes sense to anybody. Since Punkaboos and Gorgeist was the first ones to introduce the size variants, including their respective sounds, except for two of the size variants doesn't have much difference in their sound. that other Pokemon would eventually later on get their own size variants in Pokemon Go and my main games. Of course, with the pumpkins, there is what is it? The small, medium, extra large, and extra extra large. Unlike the scaling size in Pokemon Go, where they also include a XX small. So there's five sizes though compared to theirs. But what's interesting though, you can have the smallest largest or the largest smallest. I'm going to as soon as I beat up this mole over here, I'm going to show off uh, how close my smallest biggest was to the next size below it on being the tallest biggest for an XL. Kind of makes because it makes me wonder though, how far can you go down in size before it's be technically considered the officially next size under, at least for the pumpkin line there. Oh, there it goes. There was a little delay in there. Rarely I can knock them out before I'm fully powered up. Do 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 do. Sorry for if any background talking though somebody's on the phone. Trying to type in one shiny. What's am I being delayed? I think I'm being delayed. Once again, sorry for any delays though, and once again though that because of the connectivity issue though that this video might randomly get cut, and you'll see the typical disconnection logo of the guy and his hand on his head and so forth. Meanwhile, I am still not sure why the streaming program is not letting me change the number of my shiny count. Okay, I think I. Oh, yeah. And also a reminder, until I forget though, that if anybody has the Palkia with the spatial rend, yeah, to not to forget to use that. This will expand your range greatly. I keep forgetting I can't do that. Okay. What's it listed as a? Okay, where are you at? No, 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 that's not you. Ah, here you are. Look at this. Only uses 5 candies, oh. Rawr. Okay, there we go. And now they let us shine. Wow. From a certain angle, I thought it was like a little hat or something. No. Then I keep forgetting it's that little curly. That's shown in the little illustration in the upper right corner of my screen here. I'm gonna save it anyways, though. Not very good stats. No. Yeah. More Pokemon. That's like I start panicking though. I keep forgetting to remove some of the others. You want me to go after Septile? No. I have I have the Mega though. Unfortunately though, so I'm going to ignore it. But what if this could have been the shiny one? I also have a shiny one, so I'm going to ignore it. Yeah, if I have if somebody that friend of me and tried to ooh, another one, and try to invite me to a mega raid though in hopes to get shiny though, and the only way I'm going to accept it though, take it if I have enough remote raids and or currency to buy remote raids in case I need more, is if I don't have the shiny equivalent or the regular version, the unlocked feature of it. If I already have it unlocked and or the shiny, not and or, but as well as the shiny equivalent though, then unfortunately I'll ignore. Sorry about that. I know some people will need quite a few people depending on the difficulty of raid. Yeah, I know. I should be looking at the appraisal system for all the Solaris. I want to say Solaris for some reason. Solaris. I got bored the other day. I was trying to look up what some ideas for the next mainline Pokemon game would be, though, and some would obviously say different countries. So, I'll have to look on and see how well you are compared to the other one. And some would think that they need to add some more based on more different mythologies, including Greek mythology. So that got me wondering. So I type it up in search engines and such there, which unfortunately I know some people still hate how a lot of them have incorporated the AI though. But anyway, so I looked up some of them, and I keep forgetting though that some of the named Pokemon were obviously named after. Whoa, it's a big one. Yes, a big one. Named after some Greek gods. And stupid me forgot that one of my favorite Kalos starters, Delphox, was obviously a reference to a character in Greek mythologies, the Oracle of Delphi. I'm thinking I should have put that together though, because Oracle is usually associated with psychic, which is what the fox is. Dale is actually part of his name, which I should have seen that coming since the last four letters uh, F O O F H O X is obviously their version of spelling fox for that though. I'm like, oh, why did I not see this? How did I forget that? I hate myself. And I really hate myself by the fact though that I used to study some at least basic stuff of Greek mythology for high school there. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So I should have known that. But nope. I did see some bring up ideas for different Pokemon there, including like a Chimera, but could have sworn Type Null was a kind of a Chimera. I know. I think they're thinking more of the goat, snake, and lion formation of like typical Greek Chimera instead of a Chimera made of different animal elements or like Type Null. But definition of Chimera is various animals parts that makes the whole of one. So I think it qualifies. And technically, Pokemon already has their version of a Hydra because you got Hydreigon and well, they were now released the recent release Hydrapple, which is also why some of the little Applins are appearing a little bit more often for the time being as well. That must be a crowded apple, though. That's for sure, though, because I forgot to hit the wrong button. No, I didn't forget that. Also, in relations to the spatial ability of Palkia, the incense, this should be slightly helpful though for those that's in rural areas, so where they are unable to get so many. Oh, and here's a big tease there. This. Why? Why Niantic and future maybe Scopely though? I don't know whenever they're going to transfer over as of this recording. But why? This is the second time this year. Today, though, I had three Combees surrounding me, though, and of course, they were all positioned in a way where I couldn't see their forehead. I thought, Well, there should be a good chance of finding a female. Male. Nope. Male. Nope. Male. Dang it. Wait, didn't I already feed Keldeo? Okay, there's that random bug chance though, in which, yeah, I knew that was going to happen though. Watch this. It's going to be fully dealt with. Yeah. I'm not sure how many people might have encountered this besides me though, but there was a small chance in which your buddy will just straight up vanish. And if you look at the stats, I'll say, no, I didn't have anything to eat. To fix this, just throw an extra berry and it will automatically become as full as it was prior to vanishing off the face of the planet. Okay, let's see if I can do this without issues though. If anybody wants to add me to their friends list, if they're able to, though I do play pretty much almost every day. I said almost because it might be a day or two I forget. At least 6 days worth though of playtime. Please note though that there are some limits though because they still can't equal out how many gifts you can give out in relations to how many you can receive. It's usually one's more than the other, and unfortunately, it's not the way you think it is. Oh, it's like, well, you can send out this many gifts, though, but you can only open this many gifts, which is usually less than the amount that you send. I don't remember this person's name being like that. I think they recently changed it. Zygarde. It makes me wonder, since as of this recording, Pokemon ZA is not out though, but there's still wonder about how Zygarde is going to possibly play into this, even though it was been in the trailers though. With who knows, maybe somehow it might have a mega form. I don't know. Some was wondering maybe elements of the cut third game that they usually have. They usually up until a certain point they usually had a special third game. You know, technically the two versions should count as one game. Like Red and Blue should be technically one, except for Blue. Well, anyways, the special edition games though, or the director's cut. But apparently for X and Y, it was just X and Y and nothing more than that until Sun and Moon came out though, and it had its specialty version of the Ultra games where they introduced Zygarde's 100% form. So I'm pretty sure some are wondering if Zygarde might have something special going on in ZA, at least when it comes to its form though. Who knows? Maybe. Sorry, there's a train coming by, so I'm going to have to mute myself. But maybe AZ's florets might hang out with the player now. Okay, I got to mute myself because there's a train. Okay, I'm going to have to postpone this for a bit, though, because I got to get something real quick. That was a long train. Am I still connected? Yeah, that's the bad thing about living a few blocks away from a train track. When trains come, though, they'll let you know. Where? Okay, so I lost track already, though. Was that three shinies now? Oh, I need to stick Keldeo in here somewhere. It says I cannot type. Come on, I can't do it. Let's see, I'll just put recent in there. Wait, Keldeo is not a. Is it? I forget these things. Man, Giratina was about to be a ghost, alright. Well, the good news for me, though, is that I recently got enough Mega and G2 Mega Evolve Latios. For the longest time, I've been able to Mega Evolve his sister there, Latias. Okay, so it's not legend, it's a mythic. Yeah, there you are. Good, in just time too. So my latest one would be Metagross that I got from the max raid. So it's one of the few megas that I can also use in max raids. Yay me. The other one would have been Blastoise. But that was a Gigantamax one though. A bird fighting a bird. Yep. All they were just kicking me in the face. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind the autumn fall coloring of the Hisuian Decidueye though, but I still like the shiny version since it's basically a callback to the one from Sun and Moon games there, lowland regions. It does have that. What is it? I think it's supposed to be a shinobi type look there because it's got the little cape. Eh. And plus the way that the feathers on his head reminds me of those small hats that they wear. I think it's supposed to also be obviously based on stilt owls too. Are you tightening your drawstring? Blink. It's like it's about to shoot me with its feathery arrow though, but then it just pauses it though. Move to the face. I'm just glad that the genies over here have their more of animal forms of because they just all look like copy paste with some kind of modifications to them. Shiny Star Raptor though, when I got it, it's like it's okay though, despite it just being a muddy color. I don't know why the genie ones there don't have the ability to just change forms. I thought they could in main games. Well, no, they were able to get it in using the Dream Radar. Almost got you. Almost got you. Oh, I hope it's a shiny. I always find it funny though. It's like you fought this normal-looking colored Pokemon though, but it became a shiny one upon defeat. How does that work again? I can understand if it was shiny to begin with though, but changing the colorization after a defeat, maybe it was a trick. You have you found me to be the rare variety. That's a regular one. Would have been cool though if it was the much taller version of it. Though. Yes, I like to just nope. Rarely there's a little issue though where the Pokeball would just be spinning in midair. It'd be like, "Eeet." I mean, after I threw it, because you'll like see the partial animation of the ball being thrown and it just gets stuck right there. Let me give you some pineapples. What else was it? Oh yeah, this was to introduce some more new Pokemon like Grimmsnarl. Are you good? Yeah, you're average. I mean, you're good, but I'm gonna have to throw some more candy at my Palkia so I can rip the fabrics of space there. I can't. I'm trying to remember. I think you can stack the amount of time of the spatial wind up to a certain amount. Palkia, I need your help again. Where are you? Not you. I need to throw. I need wait till I get enough rare candy and throw some more candy at it so I can at least level it up. There you are. Here. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ah, I swear, if this thing had arms where the arms in its original counterpart had them, though, this could qualify as a centaur. Yeah, so going back to the Greek mythology based Pokemon there, and somebody mentioned about centaur, I'm thinking they could do that though. I mean, look at Pokemon's rival Digimon. Look how many centaur based creatures they have though. They even have one named Centauromon, who is a centaur. Also, it's more of a humanoid centaur like you expect from Greek mythology, though, where it's part human, part horse. So, but since Pokemon doesn't exactly fully design their Pokemon to be more human-like, humanoid, but not a person per se. If that was the case, though, certain Pokemon, though, like for example, Yanmask, would look more like a person instead of black being, though, holding a nondescript facial death mask. I mean, Mr. Mime, Jinx, and such, they have a human-like thing about them, though, but not a flat-out human. So, if Pokemon Company ever goes that route for like a Greek setting, though, I forgot they now have coins in here. It'll probably be more animal-based. I mean, granted, though, that Digimon do have animal-based centaurs, or what some of the people in the furry fandom would call tars. So that still could work. Yeah, okay, so granted, the one I'm thinking of, though, is the sheep-looking one, though. It does have a crossbow. And Pokemon do not really use flat-out normal weapons, though, except for the ones that have like the built-in ones like Blastoise and such. And Gigantamax Blastoise, which is a full arsenal on its back. If it wasn't for the fact it was kind of still small compared to the literal gun Digimon, though, then it could rival them, but it's still a turtle with guns on its back. Oh, so you can't have guns, handguns in Pokemon like in the anime that cut the one where here we go again with the Safari Zone where he was facing. Well, then again, I can't blame him though because the game warden in that episode did point a gun at his face. But you can't have a gun. You can have a giant tortoise there with cannons. Digimon's like, haha, we can do guns. Hey, here's a character that is a actual revolver gun holding a normal looking revolver gun. It's a wonder that four kids who are known to nitpick at censorship there, as seen in also Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and such, there where they would edit them and sometimes hilarious results are like the infamous finger guns of Yu-Gi-Oh. Don't get me wrong though, if it wasn't for the fact though that four kids or whoever was in charge of the music in four kids if it wasn't for them and their opening rap for One Piece, I wouldn't have been watching One Piece. Yeah, there might be some discrepancies in said pirate rap though, but still got me to watch it. And if I had a choice though, I probably would pick that over the actual music that they've been using for One Piece. But anyways, as for Digimon there, yeah, I know Digimon did have the censorship, but when you have literal guns that are living creatures there, yeah. Oh, but don't worry though, they have a laser sounding effect, so they won't sound like real guns. Oops, why did I fave that? Oh, this is good stats. Yeah. Okay, now, okay. So what I was going to show was the pumpkin boots there, and I'm going to have to define the search better since my keyboard is not coming up for some reason. Okay, so we're going to pick grass. Go back over here. I could have just typed it in too, though, but yeah. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting though there are other grass ghost Pokemon there. Now I need to put this in number order because the way they do it on here, number order will also categorize them by their sizes as well, or at least with the Punkaboos. So go over here. I think the 912 might be the one. No, it's not. Okay, where's okay? Yeah, so here is my shortest, biggest Punkaboo there. But like I said, I was wondering what would make it to where it's just within the threshold of still being a double XL and yet still being the shortest one before it would be considered as an XL. So what I did, I went to my Pokédex because unlike other Pokemon of various sizes, which you do list them down here though, Punkaboo over here will display different stats for each variant size. Oh, by the way, I still rather pick the way they used to display sizes, regardless if you had a large one or a tiny one. Because back then, it's like, here's the basic information, though, of the Pokemon there. But now on here, it's like, here's information about a Pokemon, but we can't tell you the sizes. Okay, so for this one, for the tiniest one, though, the small size, shortest one is zero point 0.3 meters. Tallest, not much. Average, just an additional zero point 0.1 for my shortest one. Hmm. For this one, I see a trend here. It's like 3, 4, 5, which means the smallest, biggest will be 6. And as you can tell, my tallest one is nearly 0.8 meters. So in order for it to be the smallest, but also be the biggest one, it has to be at least zero point 0.6 meters though. Because if it's just 0.01 meters lower, then it would be considered as a tallest of the large set. And as indicated by the aura around it, the blue aura, which indicated it was a recently caught one, no two. Of course, I can always go show the information saying the dates on there, though. So yeah, I know some people will probably. Oh, another background one. Wow. I don't know why, but I'm getting more background ones than I did when they introduced that feature for them. Most times it's like, here's a Pokemon, here's a shiny Pokemon, thumbs up, keep going. The only other time I would get shiny, the only time I would get a background was if doing the daily research that they added. I think it was this year for Community Day, and a small chance of getting a shiny that does that too. I need to find some people who live in other parts of the world, like in India, where they have their special events, though. Which there's another one where they have different outfit Pokemon other than Pikachu. You know, I still think that Palkia's spatial wind ability is got to be the testing ground though before they incorporated something similar to the other game, Monster Hunter Now, where you could do the same thing, but you would have to use an item called the Wonder Droplet or any better quality of it, though, which also does the same thing too. But you rarely get that unless you buy it in the shop. And I said rarely though because they do have a daily thing though where uh, every day a balloon of a certain monster will appear on field. You go attack it though, and you'll get corresponding items from it though, where you can be like a few zenny there to some basic items, but near the end of a 7 day period though, unless you're lucky enough to get the better one though during the 7 week without waiting for a week, but yeah, uh, you get the better one. I forgot which monster the final balloon is though. But anyways, you might get the Wonder Droplet that is similar to the Palkia Spatial Wind for that one. Also, you might also get increased storage space there as well as over 10,000 Zenny. I will say this though, I have no shortage of Zenny money in Monster Hunter now because I have way more than I really need, and yet they keep putting new ways to get more money. I'm thinking, I have a lot of money. I'm trying to get rid of the money. I've already upgraded like two of my weapons to the max rank possible, and I still got too much money. I don't have enough material, so get rid of the money faster though, but not exactly a well crowded area, well, except for Pokemon Go here. Okay, right now it's 4:37 local time. Once again, local time is Central Time for me. Okay, so Team Rocket is hiding out though. I think today was the last day for any additional bonus on the celebration. No, 2 more days. For those who's doing the Keldeo though, right now, the next step of Tales Transformation is up as of this recording. So 5-8 is the next one uh, that appeared though for the section though where you have to power up, completed, and so forth. Eesh. Unfortunately for me, on for this one I hear though, my lucky Pokemon's been used to get the one for the Keldeo though. So, hey, where'd you go? Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this already though, but sometimes during different scenes, like if you're evolving certain Pokemon, your buddy's shadow might also appear during the transformation phase of your evolving Pokemon. I have no idea why that is though. So like right here with Keldeo though, I was evolving, I forgot who, and while they were evolving, I saw something weird. And as quickly as the evolution screen takes place though, I did notice though that it was the form of Keldeo's tail just happened to be by, because I think what happens though, whenever you do an evolution screen though, it takes place where you're standing though, and you're just in a different phase of that bubble, so to speak though. But sometimes your partner, if they're large enough though, or have a more of an imposing shadow, I guess, besides this unicorn based one though. I know he's supposed to be based off the mythical creature of a Kelpie, but still, anyways, Shadow over here was in the evolution screen, and when that was done, I noticed though uh, that Keldeo was right next to my character. Okay, so 3 shinies. I'm going to see which one's the better stats though. I should have enough candy. Okay. Blech. Yeah. Okay. No, not Applin. Oh, let me show Applin real quick though. So now you got this over here though. So now you got new apple though of the syrupy apple, so you can make it look like your candy apple though. For those that don't know though, the syrupy apple is the one that will allow Applin to eventually become your Hydrapple. However, unlike typical Hydra-based Pokemon, which will only be Hydreigon, which has the head and the mini heads on its arms, which also serves as necks, Hydrapple is more like the little worms all sharing the same space within their apple. And as far as I'm aware of, they're actually individual worms with a Y, like the old-fashioned draconic worm, but they all share the same living quarters within said confined apple there. No, there's no room in here, guys. No, no, no. Ah, it's fine. Look at this. I can put my TV here, my awesome game set over here. Hey, don't forget to put my refrigerator there. No, it's too much space in there. So, I guess you can count it as a Hydra, despite it just them hiding out, except for the main one in charge. Okay, so you're the one with the better stats of them all, right? Yeah, and plus you got this fancy background, so. And yes, I know the sound disappears for some reason. It will disappear after a certain amount of time, unless I exit and come back to it. I remember when you first get shinies before they upgraded it, though, that it doesn't do an additional cutscene, though. It only did it for the first time if you got a shiny. If you only got the regular version and then a shiny, though, then it would only do the little mini. Ooh, I like that. That's more prominent shiny, but it would only do it for its normal variant. And you're the heaviest blobby boy over here, or girl in this case, so since you're female. Extendo arms. How come I just realizing that they actually have now clouds on the ground? I noticed that also in Niantic's other game of Monster Hunter Now, where they have clouds on, well, at least there's shadows on the ground. One thing I like about it when they had a update on Pokemon Go was the fact that they not only included obviously the moon, but the moon will move in accordingly with the real moon in the world there. Well, not in the world, but the real moon phases. Not only the phases, but the position in the sky too. Like currently, though, this is the yeah, based on the compass up in the upper right corner. But this right here being the northeast, maybe a little bit over here, northeast corner, in which, well, in the real world though, the moon would be rising from that angle. And I like the fact that because I think back then, I'm trying to remember because it's been since whenever they implemented the moon. I think back when the game came out though, and almost always was east to west, and that was it. And then later on, they were changing it up though. I think you could be able to. I think you're also able technically to see the sun when it rises and sets too. Of course, I'm asleep when the sun rises though, but if I remember right, the sun does set rising over there. Wait, did my thing? Yes, it did. I need to see how many candies I still got. That's 424. Okay, I need to organize this a bit better. Oh, I did note that with Mega Metagross, so I like how the crossbar on its face, though, is basically reminiscent of its original colorization, though. Wait, did I went past it? No, there it is. Trying to tear the fabric of space again. I know you're here. Rawr. Oh, and I did see some people did put the arms back on this origin form of Palkia, and it looked a little bit better. Once again, random reminder though, I have a count of three shinies there. For some reason, the program using the OBS It's not letting me type it in. Okay, into the... Now, you have none. It says there right now. If I was to do this for like about 3 hours before I do the last... No, wait. 2 to 3, 3 to... 3... Okay, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, yes. Yeah. So if I did it for the first 2 hours before I was recording it, so I don't know, may increase the chance. And unless they change it though, don't forget though that the like wait, somebody's hiding over there, aren't they? That they usually do have a 2-day weekend thing of the final community day of the year where they try to bring back all the past community day Pokemon there, which is the regular ones, not the classic ones. So if anybody missed them, that would be the time to do it in. Hey, I seen it. Batting. Darn it. Aha, got you anyways. I know there's still some that I have yet to get the shiny versions of. Oh yeah, back to the pumpkin. I heard that. Yeah, another thing about the pumpkin boo that I got, the smallest, biggest one though, I think the stats were nearly not there. I know. I think it's always funny though when some people are hunting for various types of Pokemon in this game, though the shiny ones, the ones with the best stats possible, and there are those that's looking for the worst stats possible. What were they calling Nundos? I forgot. So let me see here. Okay, I think it wasn't you, was it? Why do I have you again? You're not the biggest nor the smallest of your class. I'll have to deal with you later. Well, that's right. Even if I wanted to type it at the time, I can't type it because it won't let me do so. Well, even if I was to put Kalos though, you still got Phantup in there too. Right? Yeah. That's why I have to put him in number order. I know somebody has the worst stats. Which one was it? Not you, not you, not you. Oops. No. 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 There we are. Yeah, so this one from 2023 has nearly the worst stats you could get, except for I decided I want to live a little bit longer by like 2 points there. I still like the little tiny hat that it had, so because let's see if I add in also event. Ah, why'd you do that? Okay, event, Kalos. Yeah, see, Gorgas also gets the hat though, which is not too bad because the head would be smaller. But I think what it is though is that the hat is always the same size, but not the Pokemon there. Yeah, because see right here it goes over the ear, I guess, or horn you want to call it. Right here it just barely caps it. Ha ha ha. And you can definitely tell right there. Where's my tiny one at? Not you. Yeah. Right there's bigger than the ear or horn now. I like the one artist illustration though that the black part of it is actually just a black cat hiding in a pumpkin. I mean, it could be the inspiration of it though, since a lot of the times though that black cats are usually associated with witches, which is usually associated with Halloween, as among its other things. But Let's just focus on Halloween for right now. I mean, it could be kind of a cat. Because when it becomes Gourgeist, though, it's basically an oversized candle holder now. Let's see here. No, do it this way again. I don't know why I keep saying tin on there. I typed in different Pokemon over the years that started with other letters besides T-I-N, but no. I went too far again, didn't I? Yeah, Gourgeist is supposed to be something like a candle in a way, though, because the way the little flare or peel, whatever, on top of his head, though, could be like a candle. And with its lower body being more lighter shade. I didn't realize it was a 3D thing, though. Hmm. 4:52 right now, so let's see if I can hold up for 8 more minutes. So. It's not as laggy as I thought it would be, though. I mean, it is a little bit lagging here and there, but not as bad. Which means I'm not going to throw any more candy at Palkia right now. Did I get the shop stuff? Yeah, not knowing if I was able to not knowing if I was to be able to get into a raid for a Durildon, I went ahead and spent the $2 though to get the research to get it though. Funny and probably sad enough though, I was able to get into a raid to get it, and so now I got two of them. Rawr. I forget. Was that supposed to be like an artificial Pokemon? Because there's no way that it looks like that in the nature. No. It resembles Polismetos and lightweight and strong. It only drop buckets rust easily. I remember when this first came out, people were saying it reminds them of those who uses their inhalers. I can clearly see that. And then when they introduced the Gigantamax version of it, though, where it's just a skyscraper, and then later on it gets even funnier though because they introduce a new evolution of it where it looks like a bridge. Well, okay then. There's no way it can be a quote actual Pokemon there and not a artificially made Pokemon. Kind of like Magearna and such. I wish I had a Magearna, but they have yet to introduce that in the game. I remember how long it took them to finally include a Kecleon in the game, though, because they wanted to be cool and implement the uniqueness of it partially disappearing, which is hard to do. I mean, not them. Well, it's hard for them to do, but it's hard to find in Pokemon Go because they only ever appear in the Pokemon stop areas. Well, partially invisible there, which makes sense though. You wouldn't only know this though because they only would appear in 1 to 2 Pokestops based on where you're at, and they'll be semi-translucent though, where you can still see them clinging onto the signage. And whenever you try to move it, it'll like wiggle, 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 and then you'll see them unreveal themselves. They'll jump down, and then you can capture them. But good luck on that though, because the more Pokestops are, the less chance you'll be able to easily find it though. Because I think there's a time frame before they disappear and appear somewhere else. So I feel like in a place where there's like 100 Pokestops at least, and you're like, oh, okay, the 99th one though, and you go over there, and all of a sudden, oh, you just missed it. Now it resets. No. There is a research there where you had to look for what was it, 5 of them, and it took me, I think it was 2 years, or at least 2 years after the research was introduced to look for them. So good luck to those who are unable to complete that. Deoxys. I still need to get the normal and the defensive Deoxys. I have the speed form and the attack form. I always find it funny though. Form with an E, form without an E. Same thing. Another Pokemon they have yet to introduce though is the alternate form of Meloetta, at least that I'm aware of. It's fighting form though. I know that there were still other Pokemon that people are definitely wanting still, and they have yet to introduce. So one of them being the Poke God itself, Omastar. I mean, Arceus. Or Arceus, as some people would say. But I'm pretty sure they're going to wait for a proper timing for that one. I'm not sure what. End of game, probably. That would be wrong, messed up, and no. Because it used to be that they tried to go in some kind of order based off the release of the Pokemon main games, though, and then they get to a certain point. It's like, we're just going to skip most of the Galar region and go into the next one, and then backtrack and then fill out some more of the Galar region. And back it up, back it up. We forgot something. Like what? I don't know, but we forgot something. Oh yes, that lizard that's semi-transparent. No. Some of the researches I hate doing though, besides the Combi one, the female Combi, which apparently I did find one, but oops. The Ditto ones. Yeah, you have a slight chance of finding a Ditto though, unless it's not an event that promotes them. You would have to look for a list of which Pokemon are currently able to become a Ditto. Same thing with the Zoroark there, though, since it also likes to hide amongst the Pokemon. But that's an easier feat to find because the dorky little fox will only change into Pokemon that are your current buddy. So if you're trying to be friends with a Pokemon buddy there, that's a normal looking one that you can find currently on the field, then good luck. Like if somebody who wants to be friend with a Solosis, for example, right now though, and they have one out, and a little fox is pretending to be one, and there's a field of normal ones alongside with yours. Well, first of all, yours would obviously be moving in place, not moving in place, but moving around the place, while the other ones are going to be standstill. Because remember, well, a fox will always stay in one spot there, even if it was to face you. But to really mess around with its disguise, have a buddy though that is obviously not known to appear on the field. Oh, what if I do as Charizard? And I could be. I know what Charizard could work, except for the fact though rare, a wild Charizard could still be found. And any other Pokemon that have the third evolution, though, or technically second evolution, third form. But to really get to it, though, not only have it as a mythical, legendary, or holiday slash event Pokemon there, where they have different outfits, because it will change exactly to that. And if there was like a field of Pikachu's, and Pikachu, because remember, plural singles are the same. And you have one that has a specialty outfit though, and they'll see that as like, I want that specialty outfit as well, and you'll have a way easier chance of figuring out who's who though. Especially since yours will have a smiling indicator though if you poke at it though, while the other one will just want to attack you. And obviously, even if there was the exact same Pokemon on the field, yours happened to be the same Pokemon on the field, it's going to be disguised as said Pokemon that you have on the field, along with those ones that looks like the one on the field. It will always appear as a big size or a small size one for some reason because it's not that smart enough to realize so the size difference. So yeah, I can't see what time it is. Okay, it's now 5 o'clock p.m. local time, and that ends this segment though for the community day event featuring Soloris. Soloris. the little blobby over here, though, the cell division. And once again, reminder though, I did catch 3 shiny ones. I'm gonna put this in recent over there. 1, 2, 3. And if anybody randomly appear fast forward this to this point though, will say the reason I'm saying that part out though is because for some reason the program I'm using to record this is having issues with me typing in numbers. I'm typing in numbers. I'm typing a number in the chat, but that is not it. What if I push this button over here? Yeah, it does that. I can't do it. Can I backspace it? I cannot backspace. Yeah. Anyway, so I got 3 shiny ones there, and they're all right. Also, as a catch up though, Diplin is available for evolution once you obtain enough of the corresponding apples. Oh, in case anybody didn't know, there for a time though, until it started to be more normalized though, the Dun Sparse was out and about. Go look on trying to find the longer segments. Look at what we got here. Like the 3 segmented dun dun sparse dun 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 dun. I think they just did that evolution as a joke. I was watching somebody doing a mini series on YouTube there where they're trying to evolve the Dunsparce into the rarer version of it though, and it took them a while. I think like over 200 attempts. It's almost as bad as the mouse hold one there. Look, I got the one that's a family of 4. Okay, but you also need to get the family of 3. Darn it! Okay, so before I end this, let's do a little catch up over here. Besides that, a grand total of 202 of those for me. Trade days, experience celebration, Harvard Festival, to increase the. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so in case anybody wants to know where to get more apples there, because randomly and rarely, the apples needed for the evolution for little Applin there might appear on field. If you want a little bit greater chance, though, mossy lures. If you don't have enough mossy lures, you're going to have to buy them. There were some researches, or at least as of this recording, there were some researches of where you could get a lure from there too. Excellent throws, great throws. Max battles, trade day, special trade, increased chance for a lucky though, and oh yes, I like this. Stardust cost trade reduced. Yeah, I like it whenever they don't correct their wording there. Current season, okay, seasonal Pokemon found in the wild, hatching from eggs, which unless you're a constant walker there or take the way of taking your device and shaking it though, like people used to do with the Pokemon Pikachu pedometer there. Okay, increase over there. Extra candy, extra rare one though from the bosses. Training levels need to be at least 31 or higher. Oh yeah, don't forget though that in 2 days, not only is the experience bonus is going to expire though, but the new experience leveling though for your character will change. Like I said, unfortunately, I won't be able to get the level 45 hat though. I technically should have been level 50 though, but uh, I guess things came up one year and I wasn't really focusing on Pokemon Go, and yeah. Also, oh yeah, I did put in the routes. I know there's some people who's trying to get routes approved that meets the criteria of routes and not getting approved. And I was also looking on the Reddit though, where some people were purposely trying to make things into routes, but do not meet qualifications. So yeah. Um, I still am looking for some help over here when it comes down to the pavilion. because I am still missing two. Because I'm unlucky on getting anybody to be friends with, though, that are from the regions that these two butterflies are at. That being the icy snow, and of course the ocean. Everybody else I have some kind of access to, though. Which means I need to find somebody who lives in Hawaii or over here. I think that's the only ones with ocean. Oh, over here. Let's see. Where's the icy one located at? That's tundra. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. And Greenland. So, yeah. Apparently, there's only places for icy snow. Oh, yeah. Over here. Okay. Why is icy snow surrounded by polar? That's weird. But yeah, so if anybody lives in Canada, let me know because I need that icy snowy version of Pavilion. I keep forgetting to update that about where I'm lie at in that though. What is this for? Well, that can be easily done. Where's my badge collection? Okay, that's about it. Wait. Are you? You are not. And there is a bunny on my leg. Okay, before I end this, as of this recording, a few more days until Pokemon ZA comes out, there's still no word about the starters for the Legends game there. You have a little plant dinosaur, your crispy bacon pig there, and little little crocodile. That sounds like Donald Duck for some reason. Uh, they, it's going to be really embarrassing if they don't have a Mega Evolution though, because the gimmick is back for the games that is not Pokemon Go, because Pokemon Go has to wait till they are introduced in their games, except for the only time Pokemon Go had something before the main or any other spin-off games had was the Mel 10 uh, Pokemon line there, which is Mel 10 and Mel Metal. That was the only time Pokemon Go that I'm aware of though had something before the other main games. So most of the times they have to wait until they are revealed, unless they decide to do another cross promotion with another Pokemon. Other times, though, they will have the regional variants from the Legends game, though. Yeah, I know regional variants came in Sun and Moon, though, but that was still within the main game, while Legends is technically a spin off of the mainline games. So it's main, but not really main. But anyways, like I said, as of this recording, though, the starters you started with still has not been revealed if they have their A mega form, though. I'm not sure if Zygarde will have anything special about it. Maybe it's different variant of it or something like that. I don't know if it's going to have a mega form. I don't know where Floette from AZ, if his flower fairy over there is going to do anything special. If she's going to do anything like help save the world with that destructive flower cannon attack there. Which is interesting though because like a lot of cut Pokemon content though that was already further along development though, people did found his little flowery Pokemon friend though in the files, but nothing for though. So it might have been suggested though. It has been suggested that they probably just cut this as an event. And what's strangely is not only was its model in the game files at the time of I think it was X and Y though, or was it Sun and Moon? Anyways, within those two generations though, but also its signature ability was listed in there too, which was interesting as well. So maybe that might finally come to play, or they might change it up though. Unfortunately, I can't say anything else that may or may not have already been revealed though, because I do not own a Switch 2 and therefore won't be able to get the game obviously when it comes out. Because even if I was to get the game, what Switch program system am I going to get? I don't even have a Switch 1 because scalpers decided they needed those so they can sell it at 10 million times higher than price. Anyways, I'm looking at Where are the combies that I need? Okay, so with the changing of the season into fall, as indicated as a bright reddish orange thing, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'm surprised it wasn't as bad as it. That's it? Okay, I thought I said something else. I'm surprised it's not as laggy. I'm gonna change something up here real quick. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, but yeah. Uh, but if you like to though, you're more than welcome to follow me on Twitch, subscribe to me on YouTube, and so forth. Though do different gaming, so sometimes some little artwork here and there. Recently, got done with a shaman that had a realistic thing though. I don't know if I can show this real quickly though without this thing messing up though. Let's see if I can do this without it though. If this thing interrupts there and cuts off the stream, sorry about that. And a quick thanks for watching now. I'm going to try to get this thing up really quick. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can do this real quick. There we go. Recently, I just got done with doing a semi-realistic as shaman. By the way, still on the subject of Pokemon though. There we go. Ah, wrong button. Wrong button, genius. Let's bring this up over here real quick. There we go. Yeah, I do a little bit of Pokemon art too, though. I want before I end this, though, I'm going to say this though that I wanted to try something different with Shaman though, since Shaman is mostly known as being a little hedgehog. And I had this idea. It's like, okay, well, let me leave it as a grass typing though, because obvious reasons though, but also throw in elements that would bring into its hedgehog inspiration though, which would be more of a quills. But for this one though, that would mean I would have to change up the bush look and give it more of a grassy look. I don't think it looked too bad when it came down to that. Because hedgehogs tend to have their fur and spines more quote slicked backwards there though, and Shaman has the little poof because the part of the bush sticks out like a little hairstyle though. I decided to go ahead and just make it like this, so it does have it sticking out though. And since it does have those little yellow spots, I think like berries, whatever, I went ahead and put these little yellowish grass that you might see in like in wild grass fields and such here. I was thinking about changing the flower to be more corresponding with like a flower that you could find in well grassy fields. I do have. I'm trying to wrap this up as quickly as I can, but I did made a quote shiny variant of this though, and instead of being the tealish green color that the shaman usually has, though, I went with a more brownish autumn fall that uh, let's say Chikorita has for its shiny there, because for some reason it seemed a little bit better though than the bluish one though. I know some plants do have this bluish tinge to them, but anyways, there's the semi-realistic shaman though. If anybody is also interested in seeing me do some Pokemon and other video game related arts there though, is more than welcome to watch me on Twitch when I do that. Can I do it now? I'm still trying to get myself to. There we go. Finally. Aha! All I had to do is look at a different screen. There we go. I snuck up on it. But anyways, there should be a listing of prior Pokemon Community Day events, including the classic ones, on this YouTube channel there, because this is being posted on YouTube once it's done being live on Twitch. Of prior ones, though, please do note though that some of the videos, if anybody watches them though, first of all, they'll all be in English, but I'm trying to see if I can have the auto dub, even when people are like, "I don't like auto dub because it sounds corny because it's evil AI." But anyways, there is the listings of previous Pokemon community days that's on there. Though there are some of them that might be too loud, lagging. Sorry about that, though. Among other things, because things happen. Though these things happen. I need to. Let's see what happened. Okay, there we go. There we go. I was wondering where the start date went. But with that being said, and all the other cliche things that people do to end it, though, that is pretty much it. Once again, thanks for watching Pokemon Go Community Day event featuring Solosis for October 2025, though. I don't know what the next game will be as of this recording, though, but definitely we'll be back for the next Pokemon Community Day event, though, which I forgot to look it up, though, whether it be the regular one or another classic. I think they usually do like 4 classics per year. Either way, I'll definitely be back, hopefully, though, with less connectivity issues with the internet and programs, though, for that. And that is all for now. I got to work some more on the research for KLDO, which is a transfer of transformation here. Also, if this video ends up being auto-translated, though, sorry for any issues for that because it does say experimental there, and YouTube is weird. But that was before then. Anyways, that is all for now. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Later. Sure.